Hello everyone, Rimea here, and welcome to the, god, I don't even know, 7th, I think, part of Cloudy Super Mario Bros. U 2, or specifically my playthrough of that mod. Speaking of that mod, it is my mod, nobody else's. Okay, that was the weirdest intro I've ever done. Let's try again. Hello everyone, Rimea here, and welcome to the 7th part of my playthrough of Cloudy Super Mario Bros. U 2. This is my own mod, so I made this and it was released like over 2 weeks ago now. And yeah, we've been playing through it and we're now up to the end of World 6. And I think today we're going to be finishing World 6, the last 3 levels. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started with 6-Tower, or I guess 6- the second tower, Torpedo Sewer Tower. And spoiler alert, this also just so happens to be probably my least favorite level in the whole mod. Which is for a plethora of reasons, which I guess we'll get into over the course of it. Though actually, saying that, I do actually quite like the first room of this level. So first of all, we introduce these big pipes, big layer zero pipe things, which are of course a mechanic very much inspired by, or even just straight up taken from, I guess you could think, from newer Super Mario Bros. Wii, which also had those kinds of pipes. And yeah, you can hit that switch to make the water rise, and then you can go back through the section you started in to get up through that pipe. Which is kind of similar to a star coin we also saw in, I think it was 5-5. You know, the dark underwater level. Yeah, I think that had a very similar star coin. So, yeah. We also have these spinning spike ball things, which are, of course, an element from the original game. Though I did actually kind of have to change something about them, which is that if you look at the very center, they originally have, like, spikes on the very center bit as well, but I had to remove those because they kind of didn't, like, line up with each other perfectly if I had, if I'd kept those. So I had to remove those. So it looks a little bit different there, but apart from that, it's mostly just the vanilla mechanic. And of course, the level's called Torpedo Sewer Tower, and the torpedo in that name is these torpedo Teds, which is definitely a pretty cool mechanic in my opinion. Only strange thing about them, which is especially apparent in this level, is the fact that they just go through walls, which is a bit of a shame. If I prefer it if they just hit the walls. But yeah, they just go straight through, which is, yeah, just really peculiar, and definitely one of the things I don't really like as much about this level is just how jank that feels, really. But oh well. Pretty quickly we introduced these homing torpedo Teds, which actually do hit walls, thank god. And yeah, then also for the second star coin you have to get the torpedo Ted to hit this block, which these guys are actually pretty, like, smart. Like, they're pretty good at homing into you. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we can get the second one as well. Oh, no. Okay, well, now we're small, so I guess we can just fit through. If I don't get killed, that is. This section used to be a lot more difficult, but it's still pretty hard, honestly. Alright, so this is also an interesting bonus room. Or, I say interesting, it's kind of just very uninteresting, honestly. It's just a bunch of speedo Teds, and then a little jump, and then some wall jumping, and there you go. I did think about, like, making this bonus room more interesting, but I couldn't really think of anything to do, honestly. Like, there isn't much you can do with torpedo Teds. Except for, like, a torpedo Ted, like, chase thing, which the original game already did for a star coin, so that would just be lame. So, yeah. Getting that star coin, it's kind of difficult, honestly. It takes some time, you know, getting into that breakblock thing. So it also kind of skips past the section, because I think, you know, you'd probably be wasting a little bit of your own time. But I guess we can check out the section we skipped. It's just 2 more of these spinner things combined with the pipes as well. I guess you also skip past the power-up, but whatever. Yeah, then from this pipe that you come out of, you can go straight up here into the next pipe, which leads to the midway. I suppose I didn't make the first halves of my towers quite short, or at least it goes for the 2 towers in this world are both like quite lopsided in that way, where the first half is kind of short and the second half is a bit longer. Yeah, just trying to think of more interesting setups with torpedo Teds, which is kind of difficult because they are just a very simple mechanic. You know, they're more of an enemy really. But yeah, here, like, this is a section we kind of have to, like, duck under them. It's something, I suppose. Of course, also every single underwater level in this mod, of which there are only really 2, I guess. And also the final castle has an underwater section. Spoiler alert. Yeah, like they all give you the penguin suits because, of course, I think a lot of people prefer using the penguin suit underwater as opposed to just normal swimming, myself included. Oh well, rip. Yeah, another one. Here we have the spinners with 4 sections, which is also something that the original game didn't even use these spinners like this. It just used them like, you know, single, like, spinner things in what is it, a 9-8, I believe. And yeah, I tried to use them in a little bit more interesting ways. So it's still pretty generic, honestly. Yeah, this third star coin is also pretty generic. Speaking of which, it's just this layer 0 section and with some it's kind of like a spinner but made out of coins, and then with the star coin also included. So we had the boom boom faces. Oh, speaking of faces, there's an 8-bit cloud right down below here. But yeah, we had the boom boom faces in the other tower, but because this tower actually ends with the Bowser Jr. boss fight, we have the normal Bowser Jr. faces in this tower, of course. This is kind of a fun section here. The camera even kind of like adjusts to make sure you can see everything properly. But yeah, there's this huge spinner or ball thing, and then with all these coins kind of following along, it's pretty neat, honestly. You kind of hide in the corners like this, and then if you go down here, there's also some coins that spawn in. Oh, let's make sure we don't get hit. Yeah, there we go. And then, yeah, we actually like had like 2 of these fish bones at the very beginning of the level, and then we have 2 of them at the very end again. That just kind of feels appropriate, I suppose. And then yeah, this pipe here actually leads to the boss fight, so I think a lot of people would be inclined to jump up here to think there might be a power-up there, but the power-up here is actually over here. A fun little subversion. You can also kind of get Kaizo blocked by this invisible question block, because you know, it's over there and you might like jump up here to avoid the fish bones. I've seen that happen to a couple of people, but I think it's just kind of funny. Alright, and now for the vanilla Bowser Jr. World 5 airship boss, which definitely was meant to, like, I definitely made this level with this in mind, because we have the torpedo test as well. We don't have the pipe bubbles in this level, because I already used those in the dark underwater level. But I think they're still fine to have here regardless. I think the player, would have probably already had that level before this one, so, yeah, it's not too weird using that mechanic here either. Oh, come on. This guy can be quite a pain, really. Can I please? No, don't hit each other. Ah, no, I hate this. Yeah, this boss fight is, I don't think it's that hard, honestly. It's just, kind of frustrating sometimes. There we go. Oh yeah, by the way, shoutouts to the music. I think this music was composed by Brickblock for Super Mario Moonlight World originally, but it wasn't used in that mod in the end, so we used it here instead. And it was made for the Bowser Jr. boss fight, so yeah, that's all meant to be. Alright, there we go. And now we have the weird cutscene where we have the airship hand appear in a tower level. I don't know, I guess canonically currently the Bowser airship is hovering above the tower. That's where the hand is coming from, I guess. And like Mario jumps off the tower. I don't know. It's a bit weird, but I don't think it's like weird enough to make it like a deal breaker for using this boss fight in this level like this. Alright, and now for one of the more unique levels in the mod. This is 6-7, Tubes and Torrents. I imagine a lot of people don't even know what a torrent is outside of the, like piracy kind of, connotations. A torrent is just like a fancy word for like a stream or a river or something like that, And so this level has, there's waterfalls and water stuff, so yeah, that's why it's called that. We start out with this kind of simple introduction to the big piranha plants, the stalking piranha plants, which are kind of simple mechanics. We also have the reintroduction of these big pipes, which you also saw in the last level. Yeah, kind of like I said a couple episodes ago, this world kind of turns into a sort of beach world towards the end, or at least like a very water-focused world, because we had the final level we played through in the last part, which had the beach mechanics, and then we had the underwater tower we just had, and now we have this SeaWorld level. And it all kind of makes this second half of this world weirdly water themed. So this whole world is kind of like a mountain, desert, water world, which is really strange, but it kind of works. Like, I don't think it's like jarring or anything. It's just an interesting combination of things. Yeah, this is, of course is a sewer level. So this sewer tile is all custom made. It's kind of meant to look like the one from East Mary's Wii, but it's all kind of different as well. It's also, we kind of have like the desert underground stuff around the sewer borders, and the whole background in this level are background tiles, which is also how it was in the original East Mary's Wii. But I did it a little bit differently with the way there's patterns and stuff. It's not just like a big concrete texture or whatever the original game did. We also have these platforms moving along with the waterfalls. That's quite a fun little mechanic, that just happened to line up to where the waterfalls and the platforms move the same speed, so I'm happy with the way that turned out. And if you look over to the right there, it's definitely one of the more obscure 8-bit clouds in the whole mod. But yeah, there it is, behind the waterfall over there. It's a cool bonus room, definitely inspired by newer DS. I think it was the Mini Mega level in World 7 of newer DS, which also had something like this, where you're supposed to hit big shells into brick blocks and then progress. Only there it was like a part of the main route. Here it's just a bonus room. I kind of also do it a little bit differently with the way, like, that mod uses like a an actor spawner, like pipe spawning thing, whereas I'm using just like single big buzzy beetles which can't really get out easily. So yeah, there we go. Pretty fun. I've seen some people struggle with that a little bit as well, but I don't think it's too difficult. I like how here you kind of like ride the waterfall down just like you did at the end of the bonus room. It kind of matches up nicely, even though it doesn't really make any like physical sense because you know you appear at the top here and you just went to get into that bonus room you went down below here. So like what is it? Is the bonus room below or above? It doesn't make sense. And then here the level kind of starts turning into a thing where like you have a bunch of these big buzzy beetles kind of like killing big piranha plants, which is just kind of like this side thing I start doing, I suppose. So for example, over here, these guys are likely to kill this guy. There we go. And then we have this cool section here with the, you know, where you ride down the waterfall the whole way. And this is only possible because, like, this is all one big zone, but we're going vertical now, where we had a horizontal section earlier. That's only possible because this level doesn't actually have a background, you know? It just, it's all background tiles. So I don't need to have, like, a custom background that can both go very vertically and very horizontally, which would have been a pain to make. The reason for those blocks spawning like away like that is because, of course, you don't want the player to be able to go under the platform and then kind of just fall down. That's kind of a bit jank. So yeah, and of course it's also there because otherwise you would have been able to get the star coin just by going into the pipe. There's some coins here moving up and down kind of in an arrow formation. If you jump up here, you can also do this like without the equals of like wall jumping or whatever. But yeah, there's a blue pipe here which kind of hides behind the waterfall. Looks kind of funny. Here's a funny bonus room. You're supposed to hit all of these stalking piranha plants with the big buzzy beetle shell, but if you miss at any point and like don't let the shell like you can let the shell just fall into the hole here and you don't have a way to kill them anymore, and then you're just kind of stuck. You can actually just reload the bonus room by going in and out of the pipe, but yeah, it's kind of funny that way. You're supposed to like make sure the buzzy beetle shell actually kills all the stalking piranha plants before it falls off itself, and yeah, it's just a fun little concept. Apart from that, this level is you know, kind of simple. This is also a level, I think this was actually the very first level I showed in the like the stage showcase series that I did on my channel a couple years ago, where I did like a weekly stage showcase. This was the very first one of those, and it's changed quite a bit since then, even though some of those changes might not be that obvious. Like the tiles has been completely redone, and just this section here, for example, used to be very different. And yeah, just a bunch of little things that have been tweaked to make the level a lot better. Also, for example, that bonus room, you know, the big complicated one with the big buzzy beetles, that one was added, and other things along those lines. You know, that's how a mod like this tends to take so long. It's just because like I make all these levels, but then like by the time I'm done making all these levels, some of the older levels just feel incomplete or janky or whatever, and I have to go back and fix it. And then by the time I'm done doing that, I feel like, you know, I should maybe also tweak the newer levels because those are also still a little bit outdated, and you kind of just end up in a big loop like that. Anyways, that's that level done, so let's move on to the next one. Alright, speaking of unique and interesting levels, this one is definitely one of the, I guess you could say one of the highlights of the mod, at least in terms of like complicated setups that might feel very, I don't know, very official, but not like actually official, but just like in a way that like this, like I don't think many people are going to understand how I did this without custom code. But this is Roy's Bullet Bill Convoy, which of course has this whole like moving train aesthetic, which is really cool. It's of course also kind of inspired by mainly Super Mario 3D World, which also did levels like this, and with like, you know, like there's like a big conveyor belt of blocks basically below the screen, and that's actually literally what's happening in the level as well. I might actually put a screenshot of the level in the editor on screen just for fun. But yeah, basically this level has a huge conveyor belt of different movement controlled objects, which all like move in this pattern, and they all line up with each other perfectly to where it creates this effect of there being a like infinite railroad below you. And yeah, there's also these death signs in this level to make sure that people understand that, yeah, you're not supposed to jump off trains, kids. Don't do that. It will hurt you. And in fact, in this level, the road down below is insta kill. So yeah, it's basically like there's lava. It's funny because items that hit the ground still will like move. So for example, right there, yeah, you see that fire flower like move with the ground, and now it's kind of stuck. You can actually probably still get that. Actually, should we try that? I mean, I don't know. I guess I can try. Hold on. There we go. Wow, okay, I'm pretty happy I got that. Oh, and then I take damage immediately. Well, that's fine. But yeah, here we go. Getting this first star coin, you're supposed to kind of leave this, what is this, a Banzai bill? Oh, that's not how you're supposed to get it. Hello. You're supposed to leave it over here so you can jump into this pipe. Also, big shout out to Firefalls once again for composing this awesome airship track, which is also used in this level because it's kind of like an airship, I suppose. And yeah, I'm just a huge fan of this one. This one was actually inspired by, or at least I told him to be inspired by a track in A Hat in Time. I think it was like there's like a windmill track, I think it's called, or something like that. It's in one of the later worlds of that game. But yeah, in general, like I said, it's kind of like an airship level, I suppose. Which is also why the level is called like Roy's Bullet Bill Convoy. Like I said in the when we played the World 5 Castle, all of the castle levels in the mod have castle in the name, and all the tower levels have tower in the name. But this isn't really a castle, you know. This is like a train level. There's this section down below here, and I'm actually gonna kill myself to show what it does. So basically, all of these, like, you know, this huge conveyor belt of moving blocks down below the track are all moving controlled elements. And movement controlled elements in East Mirage U, they only like tend to spawn in a frame after the level itself is loaded. So if I spawn in right here, you'll be able to see that you won't actually, you know, see the ground. And if I jump up here, only now the camera will allow me to even, you know, go. Wait, let me see. If I jump down, you're gonna actually be able to. Yeah, only now you can actually see the ground. And so the reason for this little hole here is just to make sure that the player can never ever see the ground when they spawn in, because otherwise you'd see that the train was actually temporarily floating. And that's just why this whole section is here. Also, I just skipped out on that mushroom right there. Oh well. Also, this level has a cool custom background that's perpetually moving, you know, to kind of simulate that, you know, we're moving because we're on a train. That's really cool. I also, you know, that background was made by William Maker, but I was the one who made it look all, like, kind of crazy, like, apocalyptic sunset kind of vibe. And I think it looks really cool. Speaking of really cool, I really like this section here with where these moving platforms would, like, push you into the spikes, but then below you can get the star coin by, you know, moving along them on the other way. And, yeah, it's just really neat, I think. Throughout this level, we also kind of encourage the player to jump on bullet bills, because that's something that's just like, I don't know why, but Nintendo never really does that. They never really tell the player to, oh, I died, cool. Well, we can get to see that midway section again. But yeah, like I said, they never really tell the player to like jump on bullet bills or whatever, even though that's like a perfectly fine level mechanic in my opinion. It's like a pretty good way of using those. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's never done, but it's good, I guess, because it means that mods have the opportunity to take advantage of that mechanic instead. Yes, this is another cool setup here where, like I just accidentally demonstrated, you can get crushed by the wooden box there, and you can also get crushed by it by just, you know, standing under it here, but you can also jump like that to destroy it. Well, only if you're big, that is. But yeah, it's just a fun little setup there, using the moving platforms in some interesting ways again, also in combination with those wooden crates, which are of course very much associated with airship stuff, so it fits this level as well. By the way, you might think this airship tileset here is like mostly vanilla. It really isn't. There's once again a lot of edits made to this tileset to make it work the way I wanted to, basically. And yeah, but like I think a lot of people are going to think that, oh, it's just a generic airship tileset. It really isn't, but whatever. You can see the third star coin over there, but that one works kind of similar to how the original third star coin did in this level, like 6-castle in the original game as well. So we're gonna get that by getting the secret like back entrance thing. So over here, it takes a while for a void to spawn in. Yeah, you can see that because of the way, like, if you think about the original like launch the airship sections in the original game, you have like this like huge staircase thing, and you kind of have to like walk right a bunch. But here I made Roy spawn in like this to make sure that, you know, you can still launch to him properly without him being on the wrong side of the screen. However, that also means that it takes a while for him to get on screen in the first place, because he spawns all the way off to the left. But oh well. I wanted to make sure that the player still like waited for him to spawn in, and that's why I have this little thing here with this like break block and the fire flower and stuff, so they have some time to kill before Roy actually shows up. And once again, of course, we have the Koopaling emblem on the cannon, and the cannon is also colored to match the Koopaling. Something I tried to make sure of in this mod was making all the Koopaling mechanics, or at least all the boss fight mechanics in general, actually, fit with the level. So, for example, here we have Roy shooting bullet bills, so that meant that this level had to use bullet bills, and so it did. I don't think I ever even pointed out this custom boss theme. Well, it's not a custom boss theme, it's a remix from Odyssey or Galaxy, one of those two. I think it's Galaxy, actually. And I think that one was done by Pokerstay, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might have been Infinite. I'm not 100% sure, actually. It was made for Moonlight World originally, once again. As a lot of the music for this mod was, I suppose. Alright, so to get the third star coin, we can just, I guess we can head back. Let's see, so there's many ways to get the third star coin, actually, like, in terms of getting through this path here. You can either use this secret exit after hitting the red switch, or you can go all the way like this and get the secret exit in this level up here, and then hit the switch there as well. But we didn't get that secret exit because I'm lazy, I guess. So we're gonna take this route instead. And then we get to play the back entrance, which is actually a completely different area from the original entrance in the level. Like this is area 3, and the original entrance is area 1. So I had to kind of like redo this section, but I just like I just copy pasted the level. I didn't like actually retile it from scratch or anything like that. This is a very simple section here. Where you can just get all these coins and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, well done, you got the secret exit or whatever. So yeah, and then you get the third star coin. Nothing crazy. I didn't really have room in this level to have like more section there, because like the conveyor belt thing setup I made can only be so big, and so yeah, I couldn't really do much more than that anyways. Yeah, here you can see if I entered that pipe cannon there pretty quickly, and you kind of have to wait there for a second before the pipe cannon will actually shoot you towards Roy, because he's not like in the right location yet, and so that's why that power up is there in the first place, to make sure that the player kind of kills some time. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to kill this guy again, and then I'll meet you guys on the other side. And there we go, the first world we've completed with all the star coins, because we're not skipping anything in this world. So there we go, you got all the star coins in Dry Peaks. That's gonna mean something good, right? And yeah, it certainly does. Alright, we didn't actually check out the Toad House here to the left. I suppose we can do that before the end of the episode, why not? Let's hit this blue switch right here, for example. And let's see which randomized challenge we get. Oh, let's see, we got another one of... Oh, wait, did we just get the same one we got in the first time? Wow, okay. Actually, let me... I don't accept this. Let's try and get a different one. Alright, so yes, like I said, the challenge you get here is completely randomized, so each time you enter it, it's going to be a different one. Are you kidding me? Okay, well, at least it's not the big piranha plant one again. But still, yeah, there's 3 challenges with the pink Baby Yoshi, which are all pretty similar, just with a different enemy. And there's also 3 challenges with the blue Baby Yoshi, which are all pretty different from each other. Though they all involve like the bubble mechanic, of course. But yeah, this one's pretty similar to the one we got earlier as well. But whatever, I guess it's still slightly different. And yeah, there we go. Wow, we even got a propeller mushroom. Amazing. But yeah, there we go. Here's the next world, which we're gonna be playing in the next episode, guys, because that's gonna do it for this part. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you tune in next time to see the the actual cloudy world in Cloudy Super Mario Bros. U2. But yeah, see you next time, guys. Bye bye.